I'm gonna be completely honest, bruh. I'm making this shit up on the fly. So like, this is probably gonna change in the next hour. But yeah, to the video.
Loser! There's gonna be so many losers at that concert.
Thank Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, for this person, because I had no idea what video to make today. But now I do, so thank you to that person if you're watching this video. Anyway, top 10 antagonists. Yay. Number 10, I didn't know exactly who to put between Obito, Madara, and Pain, but I chose Obito. Obito is basically Naruto if he went to the wrong path. Do I really have to explain? I mean, you guys watch Naruto. I mean, he's a good character and he's not just obsessed with Ren. He's both. Don't get me wrong, he's both, but he's not majorly obsessed with Ren. He was literally the perfect contrast to Naruto, which was really good for the war arc. The war arc was not it, that's all I'm gonna say. Naruto's a 7, but that's for another day. Number 9, I have Sasuke Kojiro. Is that his name? Is that how you pronounce his name? I think that's how you do it. Now, he's more of a side character than antagonist for me, but he's very, very good, don't get me wrong. He's very, very good. I still need to finish Vagabond. I think I'm like 50 chapters, ish, 50 chapter-ish. I'll talk about them more heavily once we get into the top 5, but you understand what I'm saying. Yes, you do, good. Number 8 is Pino from Jagan. Now, I tried my hardest not to have 2 people from the same series, but I'm pretty sure I do it twice on this list. But still, Pino is an amazing antagonist. He does everything you want an antagonist to do. He's a perfect contrast to the main character. And his conclusion might be better than Ukliora's, but that's up for debate. And every scene he's in is instantly hype. And his fights with Jagan is one of the best fights I've ever seen. Pino's technique is basically bacteria. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but I'll explain. His power is basically Shigaraki but on steroids, and then that on steroids. Anything he touches instantly rots. He also wears a Tengu mask. That has nothing to do with his character. I just want to tell you that. You're probably thinking, how does the main character fight Pino? The thing is, he doesn't fight Pino. As I said in my Jagan video, the main character of Jagan has a gun for a hand. The fight is hype, but Pino never actually gets to fight Jagan. But even in that, Pino ends up winning. Pino basically gives Jagan a decision to make. In this decision, every single time, Jagan has to pick from his lover, Belle, or random other people. Now, most of the time, this should be an easy question. Unless you have a weird hero complex, you're obviously choosing the person you love, right? But this is where the main dynamic of the show comes in. What is right and wrong? I would say besides Chiharu, Pino is probably the most important character to the story. He always challenges the topic of what is right and wrong, which is the main dynamic of the story. Jagan always chooses to save his lover, yet he feels bad every single time. Pino makes him pick like this because his backstory is really similar to Jagan's. Both of their lovers or girlfriends died. His is very dark, but at the same time, killing a girlfriend is also very dark. But yes, Pino, number 8. Number 7, I have an antagonist from Out, a manga you should read, by the way. Number 7 is Kazumasa from Out, the 8th generation head of, wait for it, Bakura-kan. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, Kazumasa is probably the most cruel human being I've ever seen in manga. Or human, of course. An example is when he sent 2 scouts to go look at the main group and get information. They didn't get information, and he pulled out their teeth, razored their tongue, and I'm pretty sure he put out an eye. And he's like 15. Well, Out is a delinquent manga, not a gangster manga. And among delinquents, murder is forbidden. Well, not forbidden, more like frowned upon. And he's been rumored to kill people. And he also abused his brothers. He literally cut open his other brother's mouth and physically and mentally abused both of them. He is a horrible person, a very bad person, but his ideology is good. He wants to make the world a better place for delinquents and have everyone be equal, except him, obviously. He just wants a peaceful world, but he wants to rule that world with an iron fist. It's not bad. It's just very cruel. And his fight with Mikey before Mikey was good until he started getting beat up very bad. It was almost embarrassing. reading it. It really was, but he was fine until he started getting demolished. Really had to go to the hospital after the fight, and then at the hospital they arrested him. It's tough. Number 6, I have L. I mean, L and Light have the best dynamic in all of anime and manga, but we don't have to talk about that. L and Light basically play chess, but with people. Is that the best way to describe it? I think that's how you should. I need to stop stuttering. Talk about L in my top 10, so you should go watch that. Anyway, at number 5, I have Makima. I know, I have Makima over Sasaki Kojiro. Makima is just better than a lot of antagonists. Not to mention, she also has the best motive of any antagonist. Let me not say any, but of a lot. She just wants to get rid of the bad stuff in the world. If she has to control humans to do it, she has to control humans to do it. And it says in the story that she used to love humans, hence why she looks so human. But over time, she started to think of them as people who needed to be controlled, dogs, and is also the perfect fit for Denji. Denji wants to be a dog, Makima really likes dogs, and Chainsaw Man is also her idol. Makima is the S tier antagonist, and you can't tell me otherwise. But the 4 above her are just so much better. For example, number 4, I have Aizen. Now normally I hate the trope that Aizen is, but Aizen does it so good, and he's an interesting character. Ideology isn't the best, but it makes sense for what he was going through. He went through the same thing that Coyote Shark went to, but went to a different route. Instead of being sad of how strong he is, he thinks he's God, and he needs people who are also God to be friends with them. Now the friend part, that's just what I think. But he thinks he's God. In that one panel where Shinji asks how long was he using his Shikai, and then Aizen said, how long were you under the impression that I wasn't using my Shikai? I don't know why, but that scene gave me chills. Pretty sure Aizen is the whole reason his trope exists, because he does it so well. His ideology doesn't really make sense, but he does it right. There's nothing you can really say about Aizen besides like him having a weak backstory, because normally being the best doesn't make you God. No one thinks that, but it's Aizen. So now at number 3, I have Chiharu. Yes, I have Chiharu from Jigan over Makima, over Kojiro, and over Aizen. Chiharu alongside Makima is one of the best antagonists that has no backstory, and his motive for being evil is basically to be evil. But in his eyes, it isn't evil. In his eyes, he's just making the world more interesting. Because who wants a boring world? The reason I love Chiharu is because he doesn't need a deep backstory to be good. It's just what he wants to do. He simply just makes the world his playground. Hence why even when he switches roles, he can switch back just as easily. Once Jigan is finished, he might overtake the top 2. He probably won't, but I have hope. Number 2, I have Chrollo. I have a whole 7-minute video on Chrollo, but I'll just say some things here. Chrollo is another antagonist that doesn't need a deep backstory to be good. And the fact that we don't know his motive makes him all the more dangerous. And at the same time, makes him interesting. All we really know about Chrollo is that he's just trying to find himself. He's trying to find his purpose. He's trying to find why he's here. And he does that, kind of, with the Phantom Troop. But we still don't know if he actually loves the Phantom Troop or he just made them to help himself. Because the spider is him and vice versa. For quoting myself, like from my other video, I'm for quoting myself. Also very relatable, which is another reason why his character is so good. Multiple people everywhere are trying to find themselves and find out why they're here. Whether they're trying to find that answer internally or externally, they're still on that journey. But yes, Chrollo is an amazing antagonist, and I can't wait for Hunter x Hunter to come back. It's probably never going to come back, but I can pray. That's what I can do. Oh man, and sitting lonely at the top, I have Marowam. We all know why Marowam's a great villain, but I'm going to explain anyway. When Marowam is first introduced, he has no regard for human life. He compares killing humans as humans kill pigs, or cows or whatever, to eat them. He is shown as a heartless person, very heartless one. A couple episodes later, we meet a little blind girl named Kamugi. Kamugi starts off as a rival for Marowam, and physical strength, Bagungi. It's kind of like chess, yeah, let me say that, or checkers, either one. Marowam is supposed to be the strongest character in Hunter x Hunter, but can't beat a blind girl in chess. And as the series goes on, Marowam starts to care for Kamugi, and he starts to see the appeal of human life. He starts to care for her so deeply that he wants to heal her wounds. After the fight with Netero, Marowam is dying, and his one last wish is to play Morigungi with Komugi, which is one of the most beautiful scenes in anime. And whether you like Marowam or not, you can't say it's not. Jesus, bro, I'm stuttering a lot. It's taking me like 3 hours to record this. Anyway, that's every single antagonist for my top 10.